There we go. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. It's lovely to have you here. Thank you to those who are here live and hi to those watching the recording. So my name's Alison Bartolo. I'm one of the hosts for the Wellness Wednesdays. So just briefly, if this is your first time at a Wellness Wednesday on the second and fourth Wednesday of the month, we are opening up to the whole of UK and Ireland, although everybody is welcome, but it's run by UK and Ireland leaders, doTERRA leaders, and just different topics with different areas of passion for the whole community to share that wisdom. And then we'll stop the recording at the end of the presentation. And for those of you here live, we will have a Q&A so you can fire away and we can be a little bit more, well, we can share the juicy stuff after that as well. Not that there's not good juicy stuff in the presentations themselves. So it's lovely to have you all here. And feel free to write in the chat where you're calling in from, because it's always interesting. We always have quite a few people internationally as well. So we'd love to see in the chat where you are. And without further ado, as you said, oh, here we go. We've got some up north. We've got Lancashire. As they come in, that would be lovely to see. But today we have got an amazing topic all about that emotional support with the Adaptiv system. So if you have an Adaptiv oil close to hand, then please do grab it and take a nice deep breath. So put a drop in your palm. I've got mine here. If you haven't got Adaptiv, that's okay. Grab whatever oil you have, and we'll just collectively really. Oh, there we go. Deborah's like literally showering herself in it. Perfect. Take a lovely deep inhale of this beautiful oil. Just before we talk about this whole system, oh, it is amazing. Brilliant. So yeah, grab any oil you have and just center yourself, ground yourself here in this beautiful community as we join together. So I'm very honored to welcome Debra Williams to be our presenter for the call tonight. Debra is just such a gorgeous soul. I can't even remember when we met, but I know after leadership last year, just after hearing the presentation from Dr. Brannick Riggs about Adaptiv, I sat down next to Debra at lunchtime, and she just oozed. She was electric about the presentation of Adaptiv and about her own story with emotional support. And in that moment, Debra needs to share this passion with our wider community. So it is so wonderful to have that opportunity tonight to hear from the lovely Debra. She's just such a beautiful soul, and I know you've been, I think you said, nearly 9 years with doTERRA now, and really passionate about supporting people, but also about helping the whole community. I know you've done lots of things for the collective UK space, so we really appreciate you just being so open and sharing, and so gorgeous. So handing over to you, Debra.
Thank you so much for that lovely, lovely introduction, Alison. And it's so lovely to be able to call you my friend. I love this, that we actually collaborate across lines with different leaders. It's just so nice. I love it. So emotional support and the Adaptiv system. So let me just get my slides ready. There we go. So I'm going to be sharing with you the whole Adaptiv system. So this is something very, very close to my heart. I've suffered my whole adult life with anxiety, depression, and insomnia. Now, as Alison said, I found doTERRA almost 9 years ago, and the impact of doTERRA's beautiful essential oils that it had on my health, physically, mentally, emotionally, was euphoric, which is why I have such a passion to share these incredible oils with everyone. I really do want to help heal the world. So the mental health burden in Europe, it's significant, and it's worsened so much since the COVID-19 pandemic, with millions experiencing mental health conditions. Now that includes anxiety, depression, and substance use disorders. So within Europe, sorry, my slides were taking a while there. So before the pandemic, 84 million people in Europe suffered from mental health conditions. That's quite considerable, but these figures have increased dramatically since then. The total cost of mental health issues in Europe is over 4% of the gross domestic product, which is more than 600 billion euros annually. That's 115 billion pounds in the UK. That's a huge cost to the health systems, productivity loss, and more. Now, mental health disorders are particularly high amongst young people. Now, we've almost 1 in 5 boys and over 16% of girls, that's age 15 to 19, affected by mental disorders. Now, it's estimated that mental health challenges have risen globally somewhere between 26 to 28%. And this corresponds to 53 to 76 million more people being affected over the last 2 to 3 years than before. So the observed changes, they're higher for women. That's likely due to the fact that women are more likely to be taking over the additional roles of caregiver, household responsibilities, family members becoming unwell. Domestic violence increased dramatically during lockdown, and women are more likely to be the victims of that than men are. So, to be quite honest, there became an epidemic within the pandemic. So, in a recent poll, 46% of parents reported that their teenage child had developed new or worsening mental health conditions since the pandemic began. 75% said that their child's ability to interact with friends has suffered. And as it turns out, texting and social media has proven to be a really poor substitute for face-to-face connections. So leading experts believe that the worst is yet to come. The longer this trauma continues, the greater the impact. Decades of research have documented the serious long-term consequences of chronic childhood stress. Now, I know this firsthand because I used to be a foster carer, and children come into care with huge trauma. It can alter the structure of the brain and the nervous system, which impacts learning, memory, decision-making, and so much more. Stress can cause lifelong health problems. Stress can cause feelings of anger, fear, sadness, worry, numbness, frustration, changes in appetite, energy, desires, and interests, difficulty in concentrating and making decisions, difficulty sleeping, and nightmares, physical reactions such as headaches, body pain, stomach problems, skin rashes, worsening of any existing chronic health conditions, worsening of mental health problems, and increase in the use of tobacco, alcohol, and other substances, unfortunately. But every day we hear of teenagers crying because of how they feel about their life and how they feel about the world. That's sad, isn't it? And every day we have adults concerned about their school-age children who are showing signs of withdrawal and anxiety over the things that they previously enjoyed doing. Every day we're seeing adults who are struggling with substance abuse, depression, anxiety, and domestic violence. We are seeing a world headed for disaster. And without intervention, we will see the effects of this for at least another 5 or 6 decades. So I want to share with you something with you. This is an excerpt from Charles Darwin's journal. And he said, "I am very poorly today. and very stupid, and I hate everybody and everything. So have you ever had a day like this where you felt like this? I know I have. So in medicine, the seriousness of depression and anxiety they're a defined illness in a reference diagnostic manual. So if you meet a certain criteria defined in this guide, then you are diagnosed with a mental illness. But that is only the tip of the iceberg. Don't you believe, like I believe, that the general population suffers the mental effects of stress in some form or another, expressed as feeling anxious or feeling down? They may not fit that criteria for a diagnosis, but they certainly have some of these feelings throughout their day, their week, their month, or their year. So that waterline there is the difference between a diagnosis and a state of mind. So just like in this picture, I believe the bulk of our challenges fall without a diagnosis. So we're struggling alone. So how many of you know someone that's been suffering with their emotions over the last few years? Pop it in the chat if you know someone. Think about it. It may be a child, a family member, a friend, a neighbor. So what do we do? Don't you agree that when we help someone to feel better, we feel better ourselves? So we can help other people. But before we can help other people, we must remember to help ourselves first. You can't pour from an empty cup. So we can help people by phone calls, helping them cope with stress. We can do video chats. We can make people feel less lonely. We can take deep breaths. Give yourself the gift of deep breathing for 15, 20 minutes a day. I mean, really big, deep breaths. You can sense then, or you can learn the tools that you need, that you can be able to deal with your emotional distress levels. So when you see them rise, you can put into practice some of these calming effects. A strategy that more parents have had is to give kids more exposure to nature. Time outdoors is associated with fewer behavioural and emotional problems. Take plenty of breaks from watching, reading, or listening to news stories, including those on social media. If you do need to watch the news or check social media, try and limit it to just a couple of times a day. And when you are posting on social media, try and make it positive. There's so much bad stuff around. We need to spread a bit more love and joy. Talk to people you trust about your feelings, connect with your community, have a routine, keep up daily routines as much as you can. You know, get up and go to bed at similar times, keep up with your personal hygiene, eat healthy meals at regular times, exercise, allocate time for working and allocate time for rest. And make sure that you do the things that you enjoy doing. Avoid excess alcohol, tobacco, and substance use. So if you're able to offer support to people in your community, then do that, because they obviously need support. So you've probably heard the term stress is a killer. It is very detrimental to our health. Now, we know that our bodies respond to stress fairly universally, and that our systems all respond the same, whether we're being chased by a tiger in the jungle or whether we're just cut up on the motorway. And this is our fight or flight system. So when we experience stress, our brain is followed quickly by our body. It goes into fight or flight. All of this is controlled by the oldest and least evolved part of the brain called the amygdala. Now, it's sometimes referred to as the amygdala hijack. It's where that part of the brain makes decisions without checking in with the higher intelligence, which is the cerebral cortex. So this is great when we have to make a split-second judgment when we're being chased by a tiger, but it's not great when no thinking is involved and it's just an automatic response, and we need to be in a position where we're making wise choices for long-term consequences. So to make better choices, we need this cerebral cortex to engage and then execute. So this is where the higher level of thinking takes place. Now, we can liken this to an elephant. So we've got the rider there on the elephant. The amygdala is like the elephant. It is powerful, and when activated and left unchecked, it can cause havoc in our lives. The cerebral cortex is that little man that sits on top of the elephant, giving it guidance, helping the elephant move in a positive direction. So then we have important cofactors. So what are cofactors? I know this is a substance which increases the rate of a chemical reaction. Cofactors can be considered as helper molecules. Now, they assist in biochemical transformations. Now, one cofactor, they are neurotransmitters. They are natural chemicals that help facilitate communication between your nerve cells. An example is serotonin. And that's a chemical that has a wide variety of functions in the human body. Serotonin is like the policeman of the brain. It controls activity. So serotonin influences mood, impulsivity, anger, and aggressiveness. And it's sometimes called the happy hormone because it contributes to well-being and happiness. Now, if we lack in serotonin, we may have feelings of sadness. And for your information, a chemical imbalance in the brain is said to occur when there is either too much or too little of certain chemicals called neurotransmitters in the brain. So in order to balance the levels of neurotransmitters, for example, serotonin, consuming the appropriate cofactors at optimum levels, it's necessary for the best effect. So if we go on now to other important cofactors, another neurotransmitter is GABA. I'm sure you've heard a lot about GABA recently. Gamma aminobutyric acid. It's a really important because it has the opposite effect. GABA is considered an inhibitory neurotransmitter because it blocks or inhibits certain brain signals and decreases activity in your nervous system. So sometimes when we feel anxious and overwhelmed, and GABA is subduing the neurological system that goes a bit haywire when this happens. So with GABA, we can feel a little less overwhelmed and less anxious. Now, when GABA attaches to a protein in your brain, known as a GABA receptor, it produces a calming effect. This can help with feelings of anxiousness, stress, and fear. And as a result of these properties, GABA has become a popular supplement. Now, this is partly because it isn't available from many food sources. So that's why it's really exciting that we've got GABA in these products. So another thing that we need are essential fatty acids, omega-3s, omega-6s. Essential fatty acid, EFAs, are required to maintain optimal health, but they can't be synthesized in the body, and they must be obtained from dietary sources. Now, that's either food or food supplements. So essential fatty acids are a critical element to support brain function and structure. And for your information, I don't know how many people know this, but the brain is nearly 60% fat. I didn't know that myself. We've learned in recent years that fatty acids are amongst the most crucial molecules that I'm testing these teeth out for someone, that determine your brain's integrity and ability to perform. So I do want to mention, I know it's not Adaptiv, but I want to mention PB Restore because it's meant for your body's overall microbiome. So I'm very quickly going to run through this. Now, PB Restore assists your microbiome by providing prebiotic fiber, 30 active cultures, and 24 strains of probiotic microorganisms. And they're all provided in a unique double layer vegetable capsule. So we all know the benefits of probiotics. They're well documented, and many of the probiotic supplements can't pass through the stomach acid without being unharmed. And this is where doTERRA comes into its own with so many of the products. It has its own unique encapsulated time release double layer capsule, which means it gets to the place in the body before it's released, so it doesn't actually get wasted. So you have between 500 and 1,000 species of microbes working in your body, and these probiotic workers need access to a wide variety of fiber-rich foods. That's the prebiotic materials, so that they can create the valuable end products, which are the postbiotic metabolites. So what are they? Let's just have a quick look at those. Your body uses postbiotic metabolites to produce a wide range of compounds that support cellular, organ, and general health functions, from neurotransmitters to bioavailable vitamins and even short-chain fatty acids. The metabolites generated by your probiotic bacteria are fundamental to the valuable benefits your microbiome creates for your health and well-being. I can't mention that without mentioning our supplements. Vitamin C reduces stress by supporting the adrenal glands, lowering cortisol levels, boosting the immune system. Reduction in anxiety caused by omega-3s is thought to occur via anti-inflammatory and neurochemical mechanisms that affect the brain. So then we have the magnesium, some of the vitamins and minerals that may help with relaxation. So magnesium helps regulate neurotransmitters, balance blood glucose metabolism, which can improve mood and increase feelings of calm. Chronic stress can actually deplete magnesium levels. Then we've got vitamin D. This helps elevate mood by assisting with the production of serotonin in the brain. Vitamin D deficiencies have been linked with poor mental health. And we've got B vitamins. They're linked to brain health, stress reduction, reduced feelings of anxiety or depression. And we've got ashwagandha. This is a natural substance that has sedative effects, helps the body adapt to stress by decreasing the cortisol levels. Then we've got L-theanine. That's an amino acid in green tea that may promote relaxation and reduce stress by increasing levels of dopamine and serotonin in the brain. Then we've got melatonin, a hormone that helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. I mentioned vitamin C before, but that's essential for healthy body functions. And then we've got omega-3 fatty acids found in fish oil supplements that may regulate neurotransmitter functions in the brain, and again, including serotonin and dopamine. So finally, we're going to get on to the Adaptiv blend, what you've all been waiting for. So this is the blend I'm talking about. So it's got lavender in it, linalool 20 to 47%, linalool acetate 25 to 45%, wild orange that has limonene 80 to 97%. We've got copaiba with its beta carotene, that's 45 to 65%. We've got spearmint, that's got carvone, 20 to 80%, but it's also got limonene, 5 to 30%. And we've got magnolia, that's got linalool, 50 to 80%, beta carotene as well. And we've got rosemary, we've got camphor with alpha pinene, neroli, that's got linalool, linalool acetate, limonene, sweet gum, styrene, alpha pinene, and beta caryophyllene. Sorry if I'm talking fast, but I'm very conscious of the time. So the blend was pulled from different categories. We've got the wood, the flower, the mint, and also citrus. And this is a perfect balance of essential oils and the value that they will bring to you as the perfect complement to the Adaptiv capsules. So the essential oil calming blend is the answer during life's most demanding moments. So you can diffuse. I've got it diffusing at the moment, or you roll on. And I've just realized that you must roll on using the roller on your skin and not from the bottle. I literally shook it from the bottle, and I've been quite hot. So they're the perfect complement to promote a calm environment. So Adaptiv can be your go-to for the soothing and uplifting aromas that you need to get through the day. Now, I can share with you that I think it was 24, during 23 and 24, I went through a lot of trauma, and I would not have been able to get through without these two. We didn't have the capsules then, but these two, they got me through that trauma, and I am so grateful to have had these, and that's why I'm so passionate about them. So you can use Adaptiv to get comfortable with new surroundings, situations, but it's really useful if you've got a big meeting coming up, or for another important event, or if you're doing a presentation like this one. So the chemistry, so it's all about the chemistry. I've gone through a lot of the chemistry on the previous slide, but linalool, so linalool is most of it, but the linalool acetate, which is converted into linalool in the body. So linalool is very strong in reducing feelings of anxiousness, and it increases parasympathetic activity in the brain. So it's that rest and digest, not the fight and flight, allowing for relief and of all these emotional symptoms that you might be going through. And obviously the copaiba I mentioned before about the 50% beta carotene, now that supports a healthy inflammatory response throughout the whole system. And we've got wild orange in there. So I don't want to really repeat myself too much because that came up on another slide. But now we've got the Adaptiv capsules. So I want to share with you that the Adaptiv capsules, I cannot live without the Adaptiv capsules. And oh my goodness, I've run out. This is empty. I ran out 2 days ago. So I must get my order in. Well, I'm going to get my order in before the 15th anyway. But the the Adaptiv capsules, that they were launched, as Alison said, at Leadership. I think it was last year, yeah. And we had the first, didn't we, in November, when they did a special Adaptiv with lavender and I forget the name of the other oil. I should know it, but you could get a special kit, and I bought that then, and we then couldn't order it in December because it wasn't available until the new year. And oh my goodness, having to go without it in December was a trauma for me, catastrophe. So I just want to say at this point that the Adaptiv oil that's in the blend is very different to what's in the capsule. So you don't think you can put the oil into a veggie capsule and ingest it, because you can't. They're two totally different things. So this is made of 50% lavender, 20% wild orange, 20% coriander, and 10% sweet fennel. It's also got vegetarian omegas from the ahi flower. I don't know, have you heard of the ahi flower? We've also got GABA and saffron extract. Now, ahi, I'm going to be really brave and try and pronounce this. Ahi, another word for it is Buglossides arvensis seed oil. There we are. I'm usually, anyone that knows me knows that I can't say these scientific names. So the Adaptiv soft gel, it contains a blend of 4 oils. So let's now talk about the omegas in the capsule, because this is where the science gets really, really exciting. One of the key ingredients in the capsules, as I said, I'm going to have to say it again now, is Buglossides arvensis, which you might know better as ahi flower. And the reason this is so special is because we use something called stearidonic acid, or SDA. Most plant-based omegas like flax or chia use alpha-linolenic acid, which the body has to work really hard to convert into something useful called EPA. So the magic of the ahi flower, I'm so glad I haven't got to say that other word again, is that the SDA skips that difficult first step, because it skips the queue. So you actually get 3 to 4 times the amount of omegas in your bloodstream compared to taking flax or perilla. And the best part, it's completely vegetarian. So we don't have to worry about the sustainability of fish stocks or heavy metals often found in fish oils. It's clean, it's powerful, and it's exactly what our brains need to stay resilient. So GABA, gamma aminobutyric acid, is a naturally occurring amino acid which acts as a neurotransmitter by binding that GABA receptor in the brain. So it's been shown to reduce feelings of anxiety, stress, and fear. So the saffron extract provides value to the human body for its high levels of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds such as crocin and safranol, which may improve mood and cognitive function, support eye health, and have potential therapeutic effects for depression. So once again, here is the Adaptiv mental wellness system. So when we take the supplement, we are affecting neurological outcomes and biochemical outcomes. When we use the essential oil, we are enjoying calming aroma that helps create a relaxing atmosphere. So the supplement is long lasting, and the essential oils are fast acting. So it's the perfect combination to have those two together. So you can use the Adaptiv capsules and its companion blend to help create that sense of balance and adapt to every situation. So on the bottle, it says 1 capsule daily. Now, I personally take 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. Now, had I got a supply, I would have taken 2 before doing this presentation. So you can be your own best doctor, as Becky Bowles says. You can take more when you need to. So that's probably why I've run out, because I'm my own best doctor and I know when I need extra, and I can't speak more highly of Adaptiv. It's just saved me completely. So I just want to share this slide with you. But before I do, I just want to turn to the most powerful product of all for dealing with depression and anxiety. This product has been found to not only help depression and anxiety, but many other mental health challenges. In a study after study, we found this to be more effective than any medication to treat these illnesses. The side effect profile is extremely low and it's tolerated by almost everyone. I bet you're wondering what I'm going to be referring to. Now, this product that I'm referring to is you, a human being, caring for someone. Often the question asked is, what can I do? I'm only one person, but you can make a difference to just one person, and then another person, then another person. So you now have the tools to help the world around you. Now, Steve Maraboli said, with one kind gesture, you can change a life. One person at a time, you can change the world. One day at a time, we can change everything. So health does not always come from medicine. Most of the time, it comes from peace of mind, peace in your heart, peace of soul. It comes from laughter and love. So who can you help? Who can you help with this incredible supplement system? So let's just go and share it with everybody, everyone that needs to hear.
Oh, thank you so much, Deborah. What a beautiful presentation. I've learned so much myself and feel so inspired, and just with that beautiful ending of us ourselves, absolutely gorgeous. Thank you. So there are a couple of questions in the chat, but I think what we might do is just end the recording now and then take those questions if that's okay. So thank you to Deborah. Let me stop that.